Okay, so I've been having deep um, interest and outlook, or maybe you want to call it foresight, into the 2027 general elections. And then I see I'm not convinced that that is the year that Nigeria will be redeemed. If there's any hope for redemption, I still do not see salvation or redemption or see any election that will be free, fair, and credible. So, but then I've looked back at 2023 and I'm looking through at 2027. But this information may be very much important and needed in 2031. But if the powers that be that will listen to this video decides to use this video and take it serious for 2027, then it may be good. First, we must understand clearly that we are in a mess. And then as I talk to you right now, we're in a one-party system. And the rest political parties, as you know, are already being bought over by the ruling party. Forget the PDP, as I talk to you, doesn't exist as it were today. Whatever you see there is just on paper. Labour Party too is even worse off because you can't even tell what is happening there. And the same with all other parties. And then the APC is the only party existing in Nigeria right now. But if we probably want to have a fight for to take over this country, then there are a few things that we must look into. I'm not particularly impressed with how well we are preparing for 2027. It's just 2 years too, and this is February. For more indications, that is most likely in another 2 years we should be going for election. But as it were right now, it seems like we are still joking. We are not prepared. We are not ready for all of that. First and foremost, let's look back at what wasn't done right in 2023. As much as we agree that the election, Peter Obi may have garnered the highest number of votes in that election. Of course, no thanks to INEC's manipulation and APC's birthright to the throne instead of office, to all of the drama we saw. But let's not forget that there were few things that we got wrong. For example, I'll tell you, if a party wants to defeat the incumbent, the party must prepare not just for election, but for post-elections. And for more indications, we ran a good campaign. Personally, Peter B ran a good campaign, but the party did not run a good campaign because while the candidate is fighting to attract attention and gain votes, the party builds the structure and institutionalize the framework to help ensure that all of this it turns to reality, or it metamorphose into being able to secure votes and be able to defend the vote on election day. For example, if you know quite well, you can argue this is arguable. I was told by a few friends that Labour Party did not even invest so much in having polling unit agents in all of the polling units in Nigeria. For a party that was already national and wanted to win the presidential seats of office, there should have been more effort put in place. The few places where they had polling unit agents, guess what? Some of the polling unit agents volunteered because they've had experience with that party, or because of the passion and the fact that they were interested in seeing Peter Obi become president. No other course of action was put in place to ensure that these polling unit agents were trained and we are rewarded. Okay, if I say reward, means that we're waiting, or we are going to be made to know that they were going to earn something, because there was so much money pumped to the election, and I cannot assume that there was no much money to have paid this guy. Even if people had agreed that they were going to run for this election or do anything or give or be polling agent, there were stuff that you could not have denied them. That way you would have ensured that now, for example, if you look at what has happened in the Edo election, you realize that as we go down the PDP, even had more. Of course, it's a state, and I understand that it's a unit. It's a smaller, but the effort to have recognized that you will need this polling unit agent to come forward with materials that will be able to help further your case in case of litigation, you would have taken them serious. I had friends who were not contacted. Some people had to wear certain tags. So people appeared in and nobody contacted them, not even ward chairman, not local government chairman. It was a mess of an election. It was a mess. And then You cannot win elections like that. I know, of course, I'm saying it here now because should Peter Obi decide to run for the Labour Party in 2027, which I don't see happening, there are a lot of these questions need to be asked. A lot of things need to be put in place. It's not enough to run an emotional campaign. You must also be logical. While you are running an emotional campaign, have a logical team, putting logical perspective, logical conclusions, and institutionalizing systems that would help you to secure the vote. Because and that's why you see that I am one of those that is agreeing that we may have to seek a merger. Whether or not the mergers are with the people you don't like, we may have to see, because Labour Party alone will not be able to fight for the redemption of this country. You see, with parties like the PDP, they already have a structure and a system. They already know these things, something that is their stock in trade. They're already used to it. They have understanding. So all these parties, the opposition, come together. It's not even possible to defeat the APC without having a merger. Don't deceive yourself, because it is not enough. And then first, the merger would help to fight to ensure that the electoral reforms are done. They must start to so the merger, all of the progressives, all of the people anti-APC will gather together, and the first assignment will be the electoral act. So after the electoral act, the next will be ensuring that the campaign is run. Of course, do your primaries and get whoever. I'm not really interested on who gets ticket. I'm only sitting here for Labour Party because it is looking back. So all of this can be corrected in the next election. So whoever you decide to give ticket to, because at the end of the day, the whole assignment is to kick Tinubu out of office at all costs, because he has messed up. They see president, they see president. This one too bad. He has messed up the system. The fact that we now have an institutional collapse is even worrisome. The fact that nobody can talk in this country is worrisome. The fact that this man is just running a government without caring what the people think is worrisome. So because of that, I move that Tinubu be removed. But that must be done first with a merger, and the merger would help to ensure that the Electoral Act is amended, and all of the loopholes that were exposed, that were seen in the 2023 general elections and in the aftermath of it, all of them would be corrected. Then moving forward, we can now begin to look into ensuring that the structures and system, because don't deceive yourself, structures are important to win an election. All of the polling units, for example. So with a merger, all of that can be covered. The PDP can shoulder all that responsibility and lead the other parties in doing it. Some of these guys too, I'm not sure Peter Obi would have had all of those opportunities to be everywhere at every time. So most likely the people that were supposed to do their job were also either paid off not to do it, or they were carried away, and that cost a whole lot. Plus, looking back, I went back to check a lot of those videos. Yes, we had the court mess us up. We had the Supreme Court embarrass itself. But then again, we were not also very much prepared for the litigation. A lot of those evidences came from Beavers and from IREV, actually, printing from IREV. No, there were some of these materials or these documents that were supposed to be submitted by polling unit agents, because it is them that have the right to get it. And if the polling unit agent, not some polling unit agents were not even contacted, if some polling unit did not have agents, and even those that had, there was no form of change, no form of, ask the people that did polling unit, and I'm not just making this up, ask some people, apart from a few places where some of these structures were created, maybe by smart politicians that were leading the state or local government, in most of the places, there was no coordination of all of these processes. 2027 is around the corner. Let's start to work. Let's start to work. Let's start to work. I'll catch you another time. Bye for now.